if you know, you know. And y'all know, ladies and gentlemen, that this is it. For Charlo, his career depends on this. Even though he has great victories against Lubin and many fighters, but he has to beat Tony in a convincing fashion, more convincingly than he did last time, at least according to the judges. On the other hand, Tony has to stamp his victory, or he's a one-hit wonder in the boxing game. And for the ones that want to question why that is, then welcome to boxing. That's the cold reality when it comes to our sport. That being said, before y'all hear my review on possibly the latest face-to-face this year, then y'all first of all have to check out the link that I left in the description box below, which is the full episode of the face-to-face between Jermell Charlo versus Tony Harrison rematch on PBC. So I'm gonna leave that link in the description box below, so check it out before or after this video. Now, getting back to what took place. Obviously, Jermell Charlo, y'all know he had to bring up the injury situation, which Tony Harrison really didn't respond to other than what he already did previously. So we're not really going to get much into that. Now, obviously, Charlo, he done called Tony the phony Harrison because he faked an injury. And best believe he had many more things to say, such as that Tony is childish and not acting his age because instead of bringing facts to the table and talking boxing, he's talking out of his emotion, calling him all type of names. And he was just saying, basically, let's act grown over here since we both grown. Tony, on the other hand, is the yin and the yang effect. You know, you got a guy in front of you that's passionate, and maybe according to some people, they say he over passionate, and like Tony claims that he's emotional, not passionate. That being said, Tony tried to play the calm role. However, he couldn't play that role for too long because he says that he's in Charlo head, but watching the face-to-face, you could tell that Tony's a little bothered by Charlo because he couldn't keep his calmness for too long. And while Charlo was on his character mode, Tony kind of got out of his character a little bit. And obviously you can't blame him because he's from Detroit and he got to represent. So he ain't no sucker. He gonna talk back. However, that's not his character in a way. I know Tony, seeing him on interviews, is very humble. But when you got a guy like Charlo coming at you, you obviously gonna have to relieve some of your feelings and get out the way. That being said, both fighters stated they have no respect for each other, which after the fight, I believe that would change. However, for the moment, they want the victory more than ever. Charlo, he felt like he didn't lose. Tony, on the other hand, he has a lot on his back. He want to prove that that wasn't a fluke, that he did really beat Charlo. So that being said, a lot of people said that Tony got to Charlo, he in his head, which I don't really think that's the case because Charlo always been this way. And especially when he felt like you robbed him, oh yeah, he gonna turn it up a notch. Meanwhile, Tony, on the other hand, he the one that's kind of out of character a little bit. So maybe Charlo is in his head. But I believe it's gonna be a great fight. I can't wait. The build-up for this fight been crazy, to say the least. I mean, the face-to-face was very entertaining. Tony told Charlo, I'm going to grab that strap, I'm going to grab that belt and whip you with it like I did the last time. Charlo, on the other hand, he responded by telling him, you are phony, you Tony phony, Harrison, because you faked an injury. So don't make excuses this time. I'm not going to leave it up to the judges. He's planning on knocking out Tony. Tony, on the other hand, he said he going to outclass Charlo more than he did the last time. And I believe this wouldn't be the last time we see both Tony and Charlo fight. Obviously, they both winners in this fight, especially Tony. Regardless of he win or lose, yes, he has to stamp his victory because a lot of people down him, but still, how big this fight got, I mean, Tony will get another opportunity somewhere. That being said, this fight in particular is must-see TV. Y'all got to turn on y'all television. Y'all got to check out Akhi TV after the fight for the review, during the fight for the commentary and on split decision, because Charlo is bringing the best version of himself to this fight. He bringing his A game. And yes, a lot of people try to say that Tony is in Charlo's head, but I believe otherwise. What I saw during the face-to-face, what I see watching Charlo, I could see that he bringing his best version of himself. You don't want to starve a lion, and I believe that's what Tony did by delaying this fight. On the other hand, Tony, he knows this is it. He knows that if he loses this fight, they're going to say, oh, you a one-hit wonder. They're going to say, you ain't the real champion. You robbed Charlo the first time. So he going to come correct. Best believe that. And after you watch the face-to-face, there's no more excuses. You can't make excuses, I should say, because Charlo, he didn't made it clear. There's no excuses. Tony stated there's no excuses. He ain't gonna blame her on the injury after the fight, even though he never went and had a surgery for his ankle injury that he supposedly had, which Charlo believed it was fake just to pull out of the fight because he wasn't ready and he knew Charlo was. So I can't wait for this fight. Like I told y'all, I believe Charlo, with his experience, with Tony's experience, Tony's better than ever now. Tony, he believes that he belongs on this level after his victory, regardless if you thought he won or lost. Tony, he had a couple losses early in his career to Nelson and them. However, that's because he didn't pace himself the right way. He gassed out. He got too happy when he fought Herb. Now he knows how to pace himself. Now he knows his attributes, which makes him a deadly Tony. The best version of Tony we have seen. And like I said, on the other hand, I don't have to speak for the lion, because if you starve the lion gonna go out hunting. And we all know there's only one prey in the ring. So that being said, subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't listen to these casual fans. Check out my new show, Split Decision. Episode 13 that's coming this upcoming week will be hosted live. Y'all could call in. We could agree to disagree. Y'all could join the Akhi family. And to be part of the Akhi family, it's not rocket science. All you got to do is click on that notification bell to get notified every time we post to go on Split Decision. And that's how you be part of the Akhi family, which Akhi means my brother in English. For the ones that don't know, now y'all know. And that's why if you know, you know. And if you know, then you already in Akhi right away. So that being said, to all my amigos, to all my Akhis, to all my brothers, subscribe below. Shout out to Lunatune for the funniest boxing memes. His link will be in the description box below, his IG link. So keep it a G and follow my man, because he too part of the new media movement. So that being said, shout out to DBN. Shout out to Dante for giving me the opportunity to post on his platform. Shout out to New Media, and to be continue on the next episode of Akhi TV. Peace, and we out.